programmers for the festival, and it's really truly my honor to introduce the world premiere screening of Omniboat, a Fast Boat Fantasia. The Borscht Corporation has deep ties with Sundance. We've been screening over dozens of the shorts throughout the years. We've seen them grow as artists. We've seen them grow as producers. We've seen each other grow as humans, maybe not that much. But they're now back with their first feature film. It's truly a labor of love, a celebration of the unique and uncomparable wonderland that is Miami. We are so honored to have many of the directors here with us today. So please help me welcome up to the stage two executive producers and the directors of Omniboat, Jillian Mayer and Lucas Leyva.
Good evening, my name is Jillian Mayer.
I'm Lucas Leyva.
Welcome to the library. Thanks. So thank you for coming to see our first feature film. This has been a wild ride. And I want to kind of explain how this came to be a little bit. We're part of a collaborative in Miami, Florida called Borscht Corp. Every few years we're able to throw a film festival based on the amazing works that are made and created and imagined that has something to do with Florida. We believe in regional film. We don't think that we want to live in a world where all creative content comes from only a couple places. It's important for us. So we generally work with a lot of different filmmakers in a very collaborative way. We have a fellowship program, and we're able to switch positions on different sets. You might be directing something and doing slate or crafty on someone else's. It's this really amazing kind of mishmash that has led to so many people and so many really creative people I know getting to start their film or media careers in different ways.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out to see this thing. I mean, the best compliment anyone can give this film is that it exists. And the fact that, yes, I think it will exist. But thank you guys all for coming out. And I never thought, the first year we got a short into Sundance a bunch of years ago, we thought it was kind of this crazy fluke, and everyone that we told were oh, there's actually really cool stuff happening. There's cool movies happening in Miami, and people literally laughed at us. But little by little, the programming teams have been kind enough to keep playing some of our shorts to give us this platform, and it's very exciting that now we're here with our first feature film. And the way it can actually, there's something I want to share with everyone. If anyone has their AirDrop, I don't know if I can.
We want to show you some nudes, so.
Yeah, if you guys have your AirDrop on, I can show you sort of how the movie came to be. Me and Jillian had a few shorts here. Anyone saw? There's a musical about the technological singularity and a remake of La Jetée with Uncle Luke. And for some reason, people took meetings with us based on these, and so we had these ideas about maybe making a feature film. Okay, Lexi and Elaine are getting it. Little Bitch is getting it. And so me and Julian, we wrote a feature script, and we're oh, this is how it works now. We were lucky enough to get into the New Frontier Lab, and then we're oh yeah, our 200-page musical about the singularity is everyone's going to want to pay for this, and it didn't happen that way. And so I made as a joke a packet that was I bet you I can get someone to finance buying us a speedboat before paying for this film. And unfortunately, we were correct. And then we had to make this movie. And so we hit up a bunch of our friends that we like to share the boat with and make it. And Bow and Arrow Entertainment were crazy enough to be in on the joke and get the thing. And,
we own a boat now. It's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Great point. Someone said so. And true to we made this movie on a boat, and now we have this boat and we can no longer afford to keep it. And so we are selling this boat. And if you like the movie, I understand that sometimes people come here to purchase movies. We are not here, we are selling a speedboat here. But if you like the movie, the rights come with the boat. And it's a fantastic boat. The boat is on its way. It should be here. The Sundance has not allowed us to park it in the front, but we might be driving by to get out. The city of, no, it said Sundance. We called around. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So if you want to buy this boat, we're around for the rest of the festival, and we'd like to make all the deals, any deals. Also, I need to tell you, we've really been working on this up until the last minute. Thanks, Sundance, for being cool about that. But some of the effects you will see are rough, still working on it, and we just want to really thank so many of the creatives, mainly sitting around there somewhere, for really getting involved with this strange project and being part of this. It's amazing.
Yeah, so many people who are so much more talented and smart than we are for some reason wanted to hop on, probably because boats are pretty cool. And but it's really humbling, and thank you all for supporting us and for being here. We talked too much.
Bye.
Do you guys want to start off by introducing yourselves and what your role was in the film?
I'm Olivia, Lloyd, director, producer, editor, puppeteer.
Hello, my name is Jillian Mayer. I'm an executive producer, director, writer. I'm Jillian Mayer, 69.
Brett Potter, director, producer, executive producer as well.
Dylan Redford, director, writer, and actor, actually.
Xander Robin, director, editor, media manager, moral support, friend.
Hannah Fidell, writer, director.
Lucas Leyva, I made the PDF and wrote and directed.
Julian Yuri Rodriguez, director and actor.
Alexa Haas, I'm the director.
Phil Lord, writer and producer.
I'll kick off by starting off a question, and then I'll open it up to the audience. But if you're so compelled to ask a question, raise your hand up high so we can see you. What were the initial rules and boundaries that you set off, or was there a complete artistic freedom for each one of these?
At first, we did them in 2 rounds. The first round, the boat just had to be in it, and they didn't even follow that. And then the second round, we a bunch of other filmmakers got together and had to stitch and figure out how to get from one to the other in some way. It doesn't have to be literal, but there were some rules. We all got together when this thing started and hung out on a speedboat and talked about boats, thought about boats, and and then maybe the stories you'd like to tell on boats. And then, so there was a place where it came from. There was some communication about what was going on.
We have some nice executive producers, bow and arrow, and we found out one of them actually hates boats. In the first weekend where we all got together to go on a boat, that was kind of cool to realize that he wanted to do a boat movie, although he hates them.
We've all heard the pitch, and some of us own the PDF now. But why did the filmmakers agree to do this? What was the big seller for you guys as directors and writers to agree to be part of this project?
So we could party on the boat. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, part of the deal was, if you came on board with the project, you owned a part of the boat. So it was like, do you want to own a part of the boat? Do you want to ride and go very fast on the boat? And do you want to make a movie on the boat? And for most of for all the filmmakers up here, it's an easy pitch. I was really excited about the challenge of taking the sort of anthology form and figuring out a way that we could use the sort of collective infrastructure that Borscht already had in place to try to weave something that wasn't just purely a narrative feature, but wasn't also just a shorts block or what is known in my mind just as an anthology feature. And so when Lucas was talking to me about the project and he said, yeah, I'm trying to do something in between where they're woven together, some characters, overlap, that sounded like an insane challenge because it's like, what are the two really difficult things in independent film? Making an anthology movie that's good and shooting on a boat. I was like, both of those things sound exciting and I want to be a part of it.
I think the concept speaks for itself. Yeah. But I've known Jillian and Lucas since 2012, and just seeing their work and the cool shit that they do, I am always desperate to be a part of it.
This movie really handles the shift in tone really well, like going from really serious to really funny. I was wondering if you guys gained any knowledge on what worked and what didn't, maybe things you were trying out in the editing room, any thoughts?
Honestly, there's been 100 versions of this movie. Honest to God, we have tried every which way to stitch these things together. Like, there's like Doctor Strange infinite universes of this film, and this is just the version that you guys are seeing. So the short answer to your question is like with a lot of care. Like we really just sat in a dark room for like a year and a half and kind of figured out the best way to shift between those tones. So thank you.
There's also a 9-hour version if you want to see it. Give us your email.
Have the filmmakers seen each other's films, or this is the first time that maybe some of you have seen the whole thing together?
I think together this is the first time we've all been able to get back in each other's presence.
And I've been sending those links for a while, so I hope they've seen them. No one's watching the links.
Any other questions?
Tried.
Do you guys want to talk in a lot of your films, the concept behind the bigger picture of the film and what Miami means to you guys?
I guess it's sort of a distillation of a lot of the work we've been doing for the last decade with like our little shorts in Miami, where it's, there's all these narratives that are really exciting and different and that we experience. Like I always say, it's like living in Macondo. Like the headlines are more interesting and strange than any fiction, and really delving into that. And this is sort of like, it's a very famous city, but it's a city that's famous for the pop culture imagery that's put upon it by outsiders, like the Scarface and Miami Vice. Not that that stuff isn't real. It's definitely very real, but there's other things too. And so this was sort of our way of, trying to marry some of like the more grassroots, like underground stories that we're telling with something that maybe could reach more people in a feature form. And then also like there's some like meta things that are like exciting to us, like at least for me, like the last image of like the neons getting pulled down, which is like, the speedboat neon old image of Miami pop culture getting pulled down by this like fucking weird dolphin thing, voiced by Robert Redford. I hope, thank you. He's gone. But that's.
To pick up on that pretty much we live in a place that's full of magical surrealism at all angles, and I'm sure you've heard of Florida Man and all that, and it's all true, and it's just part of our lives, and it's part of it. And we have like different timelines that we all live with. The world has said that in 50 years we're going to be underwater, so there's this kind of fatality that occurs in a lot of the work that you've seen in here, but also some of the work that's been coming out of our collaborative over the last 10 years. And it's, what does it mean to be a creative when the world is sinking or ending, and you have so much instability, like environmentally or infrastructurally or whatever. And so I think a lot of those themes tend to just kind of make their way into the work, whether you intend or not, and take form in the way of a man dolphin.
And these are things that everyone, I think, is in the back of their heads, but we're like, every time it rains really badly, like the streets are actually flooded in a way that it wasn't when we were younger in Miami, so we're actually like living this thing, so it's hard to avoid that stuff.
Yeah, and when I haven't been living in Miami that long, about 3 years, and like through talking to Lucas and Jillian and getting to know everyone that had lived in Miami and my brief experience there, it felt like the form of the film being a mosaic and being something that sort of had a semblance of a narrative, but was also very sort of fractured and had all these different parts that were assembled into a whole, felt very honest to what it feels like to live in Miami, which is such an incredibly diverse and complicated, has a diverse and complicated history and geography, and so it felt honest that like the form of this movie would match what it really feels like to live in Miami, which is, and I also think to what Lucas is saying too, trying to avoid what has plagued Miami, which are these singular dominant narratives that have defined what Miami is to everyone else in the country, and we want to be like, well, Miami is all these different things at once on a speedboat, and so it just felt honest.
Were there 15 identical boats, or did you guys just borrow the boat every time you decided to have a scene?
Did we all get a boat?
We all, so under your seats, there will be, each of you has a boat, yeah. In the story of the film.
How many boats are there?
Okay, I'm gonna break it down right now. In the story of the film, there are 4 boats. There's Lane Pike, the original. It dies, it blows up. It has a child with the monster truck, Lane Pike 2. But then there's a virtual boat, only exists in virtual reality. That's virtual Lane Pike. Then there's also Lane Payne, which is yet another one. Lane Payne is the bad VR boat. Yes? So those are the four boats. And there's one real boat, which we got, which was purchased specifically for the movie. Which, in case if you came in late, the boat is for sale. It should be right outside when you get there.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.